Welcome to Call of the Ocean podcast. My name's Keris.
And my name's Neil. And in this episode, we've been chatting to three crazy ladies who call themselves Nofio Môn.
Yeah, we were chatting with Debbie, Carol and Chris. And Nofio Môn is Welsh for swimming Anglesey, and that's exactly what they've been doing. The Welsh word for Anglesey is Ynys Môn, and the coastline of Anglesey is actually 130 miles.
Wow, so that sounds like that's bigger than the length of the M25.
Yeah.
That's no mean feat, is it?
No.
Told you they were crazy ladies. Anyway, we started this episode with our usual question, what was your earliest memory of the sea? So should we jump straight in?
Yeah, and we hope you really enjoyed this episode because we did.
Yeah, I think you will enjoy it. Anyway, we'll see you on the other side. What's your earliest memory of the sea and how did it make you feel?
I just remember spending my whole childhood by the sea at the Mermaid, down at the front by the Sea Zoo. I grew up near in Brinshankin and just being picked up from school and just gone down there every evening to have a picnic tea and have a play in the water, and just growing up by the seaside. It's beautiful. We live in such a beautiful place.
Yeah. Oh, that was a lucky start for you then.
Definitely, yeah. My family, I was born in Liverpool, and the rest of my family are from there as well, and they just realised that Ynys Môn was such a beautiful place to live, and they used to come and sail here all the time, and they decided to stay here permanently, and I was just lucky to be able to grow up here. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Cool. Oh, nice one, thank you.
Go on, Debs.
I suppose I'm quite similar to Carol, really. I was born and brought up in Liverpool. I lived in a place called Seaforth, so I mean, it wasn't a very clean place then, but yeah, I can remember it without life, the sea, and now with life. So yeah, it was where we played basically. And my grandfather had a wood yard down on where the Seaforth docks are now, if you know Seaforth where they built the flyover and you got the shredder and whatnot. Well, my grandfather he lived there. He had a little wood yard down there. This was before the day, they built up the docks.
Right.
So yeah, I remember the gypsies used to come, and then I married a Welshman and ended up here and still live by the sea. So yeah, it's just always been in my life, the sea. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, so I was born in Nottingham but have practically no memories of Nottingham because we moved to Desert near Prestatyn when I was very small. My very first memory of the sea, though, however, was on holiday in Cornwall. So I would have been maybe 3 years old. And I saw a girl swimming in the sea. And I thought that looked pretty cool. I'm off to do that. So me being quite independent, wandered off into the sea. And I have this memory of my father running down the beach in maroon swimming trunks to pull me out of the water because I was actually drowning. Very shortly after that, we moved to North Wales and again brought up by the sea, very much like Carol and Debs, and was actually taught to swim in the sea on Barkby Beach in Prestatyn, which was quite filthy. It was... you would sink into really disgusting mud, and I did not care. I just had to be in the sea. And as I say, I was taught to swim in the sea. So it's always been in my life, and I've always been quite obsessed with being in it and in water.
Oh, well, brilliant.
So how did all three of you meet up?
Gosh.
We live in the same area.
It's quite a while ago now.
Me and my running, I think, brought the three of us together at some point, didn't we, really?
I think running brought me to you, Carol, but
yeah,
I know Debbie is a big cyclist, and Debbie had set up a Facebook page called Female Cycling Buddies Group. And I decided that I needed to do a triathlon and indeed an Ironman at some point, and I thought, well, may as well cycle with some women. And I met Debbie, and it was the most bonkers evening I think I've ever spent with someone, because only I turned up for this ride, and she made me do hill reps everywhere around Beaumaris, Llangoed, Llanddonna, and talked the entire time whilst I was dying going up hills, and she was like tripping up them like they were absolutely nothing. But it was such a positive experience. But I met Carol through running. I don't know how you two met each other though.
We
Running.
met through your link with running then. No, I met Carol when the Beaumaris Town Road Runners started. Yeah. So that was what?
Oh,
That's
11.
about 12, 11 and a half years ago now. That one was, yeah. So that's how we met. But we sort of all live in the same area. We all live within a couple of miles of each other, which is nothing in these remote parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
All within sight of the sea.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That was one of my conditions of marriage with my husband. It was I wasn't taking his stupid surname, I wasn't ironing his shirts, and wherever we lived, we had to be able to see the sea from our house. They were the conditions of marriage.
Excellent. And you're still not ironing shirts?
Definitely not.
Brilliant. Oh, cool. So how did this crazy scheme of yours start then? Or maybe tell us a little bit about it in general, because, the people listening to this won't have a clue. But yeah, give us a little bit of the backstory and the whys and wherefores.
Carol and I did lots of running, and I thought, and then can I mention about how we got into swimming?
Yeah.
Carol got osteoporosis, and it was such a big runner, and it was a real problem for her because she'd get these little fractures. And I remember one summer sitting with her and saying, right, let's go swimming, because I'd started open water swimming, and I knew Debbie had as well, but I hadn't actually been swimming with Debbie. And so I took Carol to Llanberis Lake, and don't get me wrong, I've always been in the sea, as has everybody, but we started to sort of do more distance in the sea. So anyway, I took Carol to Llanberis, and the next thing I knew, she'd bought a wetsuit and was well into it, and then Debs was brought along by Carol. And we did a lot of swimming, we did triathlons, and we did swimming events, and we live in the sea, and as often as we can, we go. And during the pandemic, we were sort of separated, and that wasn't so great. And by the time we were allowed to meet up as a 3 outdoors, we decided, or Carol decided, we were going to swim round Ynys Llanddwyn. So off we trotted on a fairly misty, overcast day down to the beach there where there was nobody, and thought, well, let's just get in. We hadn't really got a great clue as to what the tide would do, what the currents would be like. We just thought, well, it's going round high water, it'll probably be fairly slack, and that was our knowledge. So we swam around the island, and it was absolutely brilliant. And I seem to remember, though, please correct me, girls, if I'm wrong, I seem to remember saying, well, if we can swim round that, we can swim round Anglesey. And Debs went, yeah, I reckon you're right there. I've been thinking about that too. And Carol said, yeah, you two are bonkers, but I'm in. And that's how it was pretty much born. So I suppose it would be fair to say that I'm the planner pretty much of all the swims. I do take advice. I don't always need to take advice, but I've learned a huge amount about what this water does round Ynys Môn.
So have you finished the round Anglesey bit?
No. Go on, somebody else speak. It's always me.
We've gone quite far, though, I have to say. We started off at Porth Penmon, which is not far from the Dovecote, if you know that sort of side of the island. So we started off there, and we started in stages. I think we've done 34 stages all together now. We've gone along the coast all the way down the Menai Strait. We've gone round South Stack. We've gone round sections of the island that people said wasn't possible, but we've done it, and we've near enough gone up to the top part of the island now along. We've only got it's quite a short section to go now. So we've done really, really well.
Oh, fantastic. So, and do you think you'll be able to carry on through the winter, or is the winter going to give you a pause and start again in the spring? I mean, what's the...
We have hoped to do another couple of sections by now, but with logistics and one thing and another with things that hasn't quite worked out, but we would have still done, and hopefully we might get another one in before the winter. It's the period of time that we have to stay in the water. It gets to a point where if we want to do quite a stretch, we can't stay in for too long. And it's just a case of logistics and making sure that we've got people there to help us as well, because we're out there for such a long time.
So do you have like a set support crew, or looking on your Facebook page, it looks like you grab different people for different legs. Is that how it's been? Have I got that right?
We've had sort of a little crew of regular kayakers up until the point that we hit Carmel Head, but that north coast, it's really difficult to swim because you have to swim fairly far out to sea. It's not been like the west coast where you can sort of go in and out a bit. The currents are strong and the eddies are really, really difficult. You can't swim through the eddies. They come back at you, so you have to get out into a tidal flow. So we've opted to take a rib with us for that north coast. It's unclear what we'll do once we get around Point Linus, but I think a rib all the way till there, and then we'll see. I don't know any of that area. Our area has really been the Strait. That's what we understood and knew. After that, the west coast wasn't too difficult, but the north coast really has been. And again, it's, we all have stuff in our lives. Carol's got a small child and is a school teacher, so that removes all possibilities that aren't weekends and holidays. And then she still needs to do things. And Debs does a million triathlons and is Iron Woman Supreme and represents her age group for the UK, for Wales, and she's just awesome. And I still work as an obstetrician gynecologist and teach swimming and coach open water swimming. So we're all very, very busy.
Can I just add, those two are supposed to be retired, and it's the two of them that are hard to fix to a date, not me.
And we did. I mean, when we started this, we started this as an adventure, so we always knew it was going to be like this. That it is an adventure, and we never put a time scale on it. And we've had a pandemic and everything in the middle of it all. But what we've done is we've kept true to our word. Is when we finish this swim, we're going to have the most beautiful outline of Ynys Môn on Carol's, because Carol's the tech girl and the camera girl, and she does the videos as well. So when we're finished, we're going to have this wonderful swim outline of Ynys Môn. So it never was to a time scale. It was because lots of things have happened, and things have had to. I mean, we had a season where the winds just ruined everything. We'd actually go for this. We'd turn up for a section of the swim, and then one of our our support crew would say, right, there's no swimming today. Okay. So it is full of challenges. It's actually, for me, it's not an easy thing to do. Oh, I'm swimming around in a small. It is absolutely, the things that you come across with the waters. We've had to be taken out at times because we couldn't swim against the eddies. We've been stuck in eddies. We've had a great laugh. We really have, and we're very fortunate that that we've got people that are willing to support us, and without them we couldn't do it. That's right, girls, isn't it? We couldn't have done it, could we?
There have been people who have poo-pooed us though as well.
They have, yes,
we've had
yes.
a fair bit of this is ridiculous, it's dangerous. I'm not going to mention names or anything like that. That doesn't seem the right thing to do. But when we were trying to get around Carmel Head earlier this year, I'd been put in touch with someone who was a sort of an expert in that area, and they said there's no way we're supporting this. It's way too dangerous. And I said, well, could you give us some information, local information around that area, seeing as you know it? And we were told the water's deep, it's cold, and it's full of jellyfish. And we're like, yeah, we kind of are used to jellyfish, and we've been stung a lot. We know it's cold. We're acclimatized, and it's deep water.
Yeah.
So the naysayers have been out there as well, but the support has been incredible. I mean,
and the Coast Guard has been amazing, hasn't he?
Absolutely amazing.
He's been behind us. He just refers to us as the three mad ladies now, don't they? You know, they're in the water when he warns the boat. You know, the boats in the vicinity. So they've been really supportive.
Yeah, they have.
I mean, we had to have permission to go through Holyhead, didn't we? The port of Holyhead. You can't just swim through it.
Oh, right.
It all has to be. You had to get permission and a certain
submit
day
a huge
and
risk assessment saying we wouldn't
risk,
get in the water drunk or anything like that.
Yeah. So it has been, a big adventure. With a lot of paperwork that goes into video making.
I reckon we've seen things people haven't seen. Even from a kayak, it's different to swimming.
Yeah.
I think one of the favourite things I was told by, we asked a gentleman called Richard Hughes, who's a superb kayaker and supper, and he supported us going from Porthruffydd round South Stack, North Stack, and into Soldiers Point. And when in my chat with him leading up to that, we'd done some recce's on land to look at it, and everyone was saying you can't swim through the Fangs. That's just off the range there. You can't swim through there. That's a terribly dangerous place to go. And I said to Richard, is it going to kill us? Because we're not up for being killed. Safety first. And he said, the thing is, you're talking to kayakers. They don't want to swim. That's why they're saying it's a problem. But you're already in the water. You're coming at it for. He goes, it's a very, very different thing, and that is absolutely true. You're in the water. Kayakers don't want to swim. That's not their goal. But yeah, we've seen stuff and done stuff, and racing through the Fangs was one of the most brilliant things ever, as was going round Carmel Head. It was bonkers, but so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So how far is each of your sections that you're doing each time?
They really do vary. Obviously, it depends on the tide, and Chris will explain more about that. But also logistics with vehicles and where we can park. Sometimes we have to take one vehicle to the end so that we can swim, get out, get into the vehicle, and get back to the first one. Sometimes we get a lift back on the rib. It really depends. The longest one we've done, I think, is from when we went from Porthwrach in Menai Bridge all the way down to the Sea Zoo. So that was about 12 kilometres with a couple of stops. We stopped at Plas Newydd for a picnic. We had some flapjacks and we rolled down the bank in our wetsuits like 5-year-olds. And then we ended up at Plas Menai for another stop, and we did we had some shenanigans on a massive paddleboard, an eight-person paddleboard. And then we ended up with a picnic at the Sea Zoo at the other end. So that's probably our longest one, if I'm right. But some of them are a little bit shorter. It depends what support we've got as well.
Cool.
Yeah, and it depends. It depends again, on the tidal flow. I mean, that flow, there was, decent flow. Ditto on the north of the island. We've done a couple of 7K swims there. Going out of Abermenai from the Sea Zoo, that was 8.5K or something. But the ones where there's not so much tidal assistance, there may be 3-4 kilometres, that kind of thing. So it depends on how much assistance we get. I mean, we haven't really stayed in the water longer than 4 hours, and we're not always swimming. Quite often we're messing around. Carol makes us do her version of synchronized swimming, which is utterly terrible, but we do laugh like 5-year-olds. We have fun. It's not an endurance thing, though clearly it is, but it's not like about that. It's about having fun. I don't know, being a little bit childish, seeing things, going in caves, looking at what's underwater, what sea life we can see, what's under a rock, what's under a boat, what's where, and everywhere's different and it's all beautiful.
And I think sometimes we've come along to a section and we've thought, oh, maybe we're not going to see very much today, and maybe I'm not going to say the word boring, because none of it's going to be boring anyway. But maybe you think, oh, it's a bit of a sort of barren landscape for us along here, and we have been so surprised. I can't think of any section where I've come away thinking, oh, that was, I was just thinking about the swimming and I wasn't thinking about what was around me. Because even if you just go over a little bit of seaweed or you get stuck in something, I shriek. It stops these two. They think, what on earth happened? I've got caught in a bit of seaweed, or I've lost my phone or something. And there's all kinds of things going on. All the time.
It's quite bizarre as well, because I've met people in the middle of the sea that I know in Gaia.
Yes, me too.
And I'm like, oh my God, hello. And this is in the middle of absolutely in the sea, in places that are not really accessible.
It's fair to say,
and
Debbie
I've had conversations. I've had conversations in the sea with people, and we've had such a laugh as well. I mean, when we went with the house in the Scooby Doo house, I mean, that was such a laugh that we had, because again, the eddy got in the way of that one, and it was. It was just crazy, and then getting assistance from some, very helpful fishermen to bring us in, and so we could, get out. So
restart, having just sat there and gone nowhere for an hour or so. Yeah, it was.
You do have a laugh. It is quite, we do laugh quite hard about these things. But it never, it's a lot of fun, but equally you've always got to be ready for something that's, you've got to call this a day. We're going to have to get in here again from this point next time.
Yeah.
Because we haven't quite got where we wanted to go. So, there's a lot of that. But then I think, because we don't treat it, we treat it more as an adventure rather than some serious endurance event. We never put time pressures on ourselves. So I think that makes it more fun as well, because we don't have that pressure, do we?
Sure.
I mean, obviously we want to finish it.
We've learned so much as well. I mean, I've learned so much about the logistics of planning it all, but also things like we didn't know what sea squirt was, but now we know what sea squirt was. And Debbie can wax lyrical about how barnacles reproduce, because she's
a barnacle expert.
A barnacle expert. Yeah, that's it.
Barnacle expert. Barnacle. Yes. They're fascinating creatures. And I just thought they were just a bit of shell on a rock.
Yeah.
But no, there are academics who have spent their whole lives studying them.
Yeah.
And, for very rare moments and sights. Yeah. So I've shared that knowledge on. So we're all pretty, about barnacles now.
Yeah, there is a swim where she explains it to a friend of mine I found swimming in the sea on one of our videos. If you want to know how barnacles reproduce, it's very interesting. Debbie will tell you all about it in that video.
So many creatures, it's been amazing. Literally, normally we quite often see seals. They come and say hello and they go away generally
in very close quarters.
Yes. But on our last Nofio Môn section, we encountered a pod of dolphin, and because we were a little bit further out, I think they were really inquisitive, and there was at least 10 of them that came and came to say hello and circled us for quite a while.
Wow.
By which time we got ourselves into an eddy and couldn't get any further. But it was worth.
It was the tide had changed direction. That's what had happened there. But I haven't published that video yet. It's on my list of things to do. So if you do want to have a look at it, it's pretty good. I'd like to also point out that I was about 200 meters away from the dolphin action and got none of it. It was those two in the middle. I'm so jealous.
No. Hmm.
So where can people follow your journey? Is it your Facebook, Nofio Môn? Is that
Yes.
and you've put some bits out on YouTube, haven't you? Some of your films.
All Carol's
Yeah.
videos are there, aren't they? Yeah.
I get, because sometimes we have kayakers, sometimes obviously we have people on a rib or whoever, and we have our own phones with us as well in waterproof cases. So I just gather everybody's photos and videos together. I create a movie with them. I add Relive as well, where my Strava connects to an app that shows the actual course. So I slice it all together. It takes quite a while, and I find some very generic music on the internet that I am allowed to use without infringing any kind of copyright law. And then put it all together, and then I send it over to Chris, and then she creates the blog, and we share it then. So the videos are all on YouTube, and then we share the link with Chris's blog then on the Facebook page and on Instagram as well.
Oh, brilliant. Well, what we'll do, we'll put the links in on the show notes.
What do you think the ocean is trying to tell us, and do you think we are listening?
It's a bit of a deep one, that, isn't it?
It is a bit deep.
Oh, I think it's a different world, isn't it? It's something we should be looking after better.
Yeah.
Maybe you girls.
A lot better.
Oh, a lot better, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's disappointing, isn't it? The ocean is rising, sea levels are rising. We're not going to be able to stand in the way of the ocean. It doesn't matter how powerful we think we are as a species.
No.
Blocking, rising seawater is not something that we will be able to sustain or maintain in any, manner that will preserve, the land mass as it is. And we continue to abuse the planet, don't we? On a local scale, on a national scale, on an international scale, and it's sad. And I guess if we don't completely destroy it, I guess
It'll destroy us.
It'll destroy us.
Yes,
and
Mother
everything will
Nature.
carry on. It'll
Mother
carry on in a
Nature
different way.
is no more prominent than the sea.
Yeah, I
when
think
it's
so.
storming, it's like there's nothing. We can't, as humans, we can't survive those conditions. And we should look after our planet better. But I think inevitably the sea will win.
Yeah.
When we've destroyed it that much.
Yeah, and good on it.
Yes, we'll all be. It'll just be a massive. There'll be no dry land left on Earth.
You three will be all right, though.
Oh no, the water's so powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that teaches you. I think we've learned quite a lot as well, haven't we, about water, on the power of water, and at the end of the day, it's the boss.
Yeah. It's
It
always
is the boss.
bigger and better than we are.
Yeah.
We have to work with it as opposed to
I think we've learned, haven't we? It's something that has to be treated with respect. Just can't jump in and off we go.
Yes.
You just gotta really respect it and be careful and read the waters and maybe learn about the water as well. I'm not saying most people, but generally people don't really understand, how the actual, the tides, the currents, the eddies, the dangers. And I think, Over to you, Carol, you're quiet.
I was thinking more on a lighter note that, we have spent so much time together. It's been a wonderful experience to share with people close to you. And that, the sea, we live on an island, the sea's all the way around us, and it'll be just a fantastic feeling when we have completed it, because we will, to be able to do this with our, best friends, it'd be fantastic. And everybody else that's joined us on our journey, on our journey around the island.
Yeah, and we have been so lucky, haven't we? We've had some really nice stops, I mean, the videos show them, the chips the gazelle with the tomato sauce, the witches' picnics. Yeah, we really have had some good supports.
What was your
Absolutely
Jellyfish
best?
soup.
Gallows Point.
Yeah,
What's been
yeah.
your best memory so far of your journey?
I think I have to say for me that the last leg of being in that pod of dolphins, it was quite something else. It brought me to tears in the middle of the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah,
Special.
yeah. And I think I always I sort of hold myself. I mean, yeah, that was fantastic. That was amazing with the dolphins. But I think I always think about the red velvet cake at Friars Bay. I
Yes.
always have a laugh about that because we just couldn't stop laughing and we didn't even
No.
know why we were laughing at the
That's
side
true.
of the road when we got out of our swim. So I always think of that very fondly,
Yeah.
with the
I
simple
think
things.
I mean, I don't know. There's so many brilliant moments. It's been
There's
stunning.
lots and
But
lots.
Carol springing the tomato ketchup on me on Gallows Point
Yeah.
in the middle of the introduction, and I did not know that she was going
Yeah.
to do that. That makes me laugh too.
Yeah. And it has to be,
Spontaneity.
and it has to be the
section.
Tower of Doom as well. The Tower
Oh,
of
yeah.
Doom.
I swam
Where we
down the
hadn't
first section
moved.
of the strait with a bottle of Heinz ketchup in my tow float because I knew at the end we would be having some chips.
Right, well,
So I had to make sure I had some sauce koch with me.
yes.
Yeah. Big sauce.
I don't know.
ones.
I think it's
There's
just
been a
been
lot of
an
them,
amazing
hasn't there?
adventure and a tale of, so far an amazing adventure of just brilliant friendship and, being part of a very, very big phenomenon, and that's the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And it has, we've all been through different, with problems in life. Life gets in the way, and we've all sort of had, things that have not popped up as such, but have got, life's life, isn't it? Never is smooth, and it's been nice to be able to, get in that sea and, just.
Live.
I think you forget your problems in the water. I always
Yeah.
forget my problems in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just live in there.
yeah, I think so. Just for that time, it's very good. Water is very good for that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can just
Agree.
forget everything that's going on in the background and just focus on just having a nice, jolly in the sea.
It's a tonic.
It's a tonic.
Yes.
It really is a tonic. Vitamin C is very much the thing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, go on, start there. Yeah, thank you so much for your time and telling us your stories. A little bit jealous, although I know I wouldn't be able to do it myself. But
It sounds really interesting.
it does. Yeah.
Well, when
it
we
has been
finish
a
in
lot of fun.
Penmon, you can come to our beach party.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll.
Yeah.
Well, you never. You might be famous by then. I
Don't
suppose.
know.
The three famous mad ladies.
I would like to write a book about it though, because it's
you
nice.
should.
Yeah.
It's uplifting and nice.
But then,
Yeah.
where's your next adventure going to be?
Well, we are in discussion.
Yes. Oh dear. Just got to get this one done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to be finished.
But there will always be something else. That's the way we are.
Oh yeah, there'll
good.
always be some.
Just
Okay,
seriously,
well, nice to meet you.
Well, yeah, and thank you so
Thank
much
you.
as well. It's been really, really nice chatting to you all. Yeah, and we'll definitely catch up again. Well, they were a real hoot, weren't they?
They were. They were. And it sounded like a real adventure as well and very inspiring.
Yeah, definitely. Although I don't like the cold water so much myself, but I wish I did. I'm looking forward to the party when they finish.
Yeah. And you know what? That next adventure sounds really interesting. I wonder what it's going to be.
Yeah, there's obviously something in the pipeline there, isn't there? Keeping it secret school. We'll have to keep following them to see what they get up to.
Yeah. And you can follow them on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube.
Well, we should. I think you should as well if you enjoyed the conversation. Keep following them, keep following us.
Yeah.
We've got plenty more episodes in the pipeline ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. So stay tuned. for the next episode.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed it, and we really look forward to seeing you next time. Okay. Bye now.
Bye.